What happens when even the name you carry no longer belongs to you? When Ri Sol-ju became the First Lady, she didn't just change her life. She was changed into someone else. Every trace of her past, her singing career, her family, her friends, her childhood, was erased from North Korean media. Records that once captured her emotional voice on the Unhasu Orchestra stage were wiped clean. The people who once knew her were either cut off or vanished completely. The regime didn't just ask her to live differently. They asked her to never have existed. She was no longer Ri Sol-ju. She became Madam Kim Jong Un, a living symbol, a national ideal, a perfect mask representing elegance and stability in the eyes of the people and the world. But think about it. What if every time you smiled, it was because you were told to? What if every step you took, every outfit you wore, every person you were allowed to speak to, was chosen by someone else? Would you still be you? Ri Sol-ju no longer has the right to choose, but the cruelest part is, she no longer has the right to remember who she was. Isolation, the erasure of her past, and the pressure of becoming a national symbol pushed her into a state of unreal existence. A beautiful name, a beautiful face, but behind it is a void, a long silence, a shadow no one dares to step into. And the bitterest truth? Even if she truly disappeared, the world might not be able to tell the difference. Because Ri Sol-ju was never allowed to be a person. She became an idea, a strategy, a piece of propaganda. And that machine doesn't need people, only images. So from the moment she entered the palace, stepped into the flash of cameras and forced smiles, did she already die? Not a death of the body, but the death of self, of identity, of the girl who once had dreams, once had a voice, once had a heart that beat with something real. And now, she exists only as a silent shadow, moving through state banquets, military parades, and national ceremonies, while no one knows what she thinks, what she wants, or if she even feels anything at all. Yet within that fog, one thing still anchors her. Not power, not fame, but motherhood. And that is what, in the next chapter, will reveal why she continues this performance. Not for herself, but for a small life carrying the bloodline of an entire dynasty. Stay with us because Part 9 will take you into the deepest place of sacrifice, where a mother's love becomes the only shield between a woman and the darkness of power. You can live without freedom, without love, even without yourself. But can a mother live without her child? That is the one reason, perhaps the only reason, that keeps Ri Sol-ju inside this cold, gilded cage. When every freedom has been stripped away, when her identity has been erased, when an entire nation sees only a perfect first lady and no one knows what she truly feels, the role of a mother is the last piece left untouched. To the world, she is a symbol. To Kim Jong Un, she is a necessary part of his image. But to Ju-ae, rumored to be the heir to the Kim dynasty, Ri is her entire world. Only in her daughter's eyes does she still exist as a person, as a mother, as the only safe place within a palace built on fake smiles and watchful eyes. Ri Sol-ju cannot choose her own life, but she can help shape her daughter's. And that, though it may be the last fragment of power she holds, is enough for her to keep going. Intelligence sources report that Ju-ae is raised under extraordinary conditions, not in public schools, never exposed to the outside world except through staged appearances. The rest of her time is spent in an isolated compound, and the person closest to her, more than anyone else, is her mother. Ri doesn't just teach Ju-ae to dance, ride horses, swim, or speak with perfect diction. She teaches her how to smile at the right moment, how to nod under scrutiny, how to stay calm when everything around her is manufactured. She isn't raising a princess, she is quietly training a queen. But beneath all of this lies a silent pain, that she may be passing down another cage, a larger, more beautiful one, to her own daughter. She doesn't know what the future holds. Will her daughter ever know true affection? Or will she be consumed by the same machine that swallowed her mother? But among all these uncertainties, one thing Ri Sol-ju believes. As long as she remains present, Ju-ae still gets to be human. She cannot save herself. But if she can protect her child, then every performance, every forced smile, every suffocating silence becomes worth it. And if you ever thought Ri was merely a symbol crafted by power, the next chapter will make you rethink everything. Because sometimes the weakest looking person is the one holding the deepest secret of an entire regime. Don't look away. Part 10 will peel off the final mask. When a symbol collapses, does anything real remain? Have you ever imagined living your entire life as an icon, until one day even you no longer know which face is truly yours? That is the question haunting Resold You. A woman with no scandals, no voice, no social media, not once allowed to write her own story. She appears like a delicate flower held up by an entire state media machine, yet she lives in the shadows of a cage no one can see. Her image, always radiant, but herself seems to have vanished long ago. At every military parade, she walks beside Jong Un with a flawless expression, steps light as silk, posture lifted with perfect precision. At every summit, she embodies the image of a modern North Korea. Gentle, elegant, controlled, she performs so well that even the outside world believes she is living the dream of every Asian woman. But behind that facade, who knows? She is not allowed to speak, has no official title, cannot leave the palace without permission. She is a queen without a throne, and a prisoner without chains. And when all the makeup fades, when the titles and lights go dark, will anyone remember she was once a girl who could sing, who once dreamed, who once wanted freedom like anyone else? Sometimes the scariest thing isn't being imprisoned, but being forgotten right in front of millions of watching eyes. Because Resold You isn't just controlled, she is erased. She is not allowed to choose happiness, to keep her memories, to make mistakes, or to simply be human. And in the end, what chills us isn't the power around her, but the absolute silence, the beautiful emptiness she embodies every single day. You might ask, why doesn't she escape? Why doesn't she speak out? Because in Ree's world, where power can collapse at any moment, silence is the only way to survive. And maybe when she looks in the mirror each morning, even she doesn't know whether the reflection staring back is the real Resold You, or merely the version her entire nation demands her to be. But don't look away just yet, because the final chapter, part 11, won't simply be an ending. It will be a question. Is Resold You an unbreakable symbol, or the quietest tragedy of modern history? Stay until the very end, to truly see a woman the world believes it understands, but may have never actually seen. Who is Resold You? A singer with a beautiful voice? A dutiful wife? A silent mother? Or just a figure molded by a political machine that allows no individuality? Perhaps she is all of those things, and perhaps she is none of them. But her story teaches us one truth. When a woman is stripped of the right to dream, to speak, to make mistakes, then no matter how luxurious her life looks, her heart becomes nothing more than an empty room. Life doesn't always require glory. It requires a place where you can be yourself, where you're loved, where you're free, where your name remains yours and yours alone. To anyone living quietly between duty, sacrifice, and silence, remember this: your worth is not measured by the world's gaze, but by whether you still recognize the person in the mirror. Because in the end, being yourself is the greatest power of all. If you're still here, it means you didn't just watch a video. You walked with us through every breath of a woman's life, from the spotlight to the invisible walls surrounding her world. You've seen that behind every programmed smile beats a heart that remains quiet, resilient, deeply human. Resold You may never get to tell her own story, but you, the one listening, are proof that she deserves to be heard. And if this story touched something in you, maybe a memory of your mother, a woman who sacrificed in silence, or maybe yourself, tired in a world that never stops shouting, then leave a comment, a dot, a simple thank you, because the fact that you stayed until the end is already something incredibly precious. And don't forget to subscribe so we can keep telling the stories the world often forgets. Stories of those who cannot speak, but still deserve to be remembered, because sometimes silence is the most powerful voice of all. Thank you for staying. Thank you for listening. Thank you for understanding.